No offense to Carlos, because he's a scary guy. I would not want to offend him, in person at least. Okay, so that's MVC scaffolding. And one other thing I want to show you, in case you were wondering, some people really like to use a pattern called the repository pattern. And this scaffolder actually will do that. So you can say scaffold controller dash repository, or dash something. Oh, there it goes. Dash re. Maybe it's just a little slow. Let's try dash. Okay. I know it's in here somewhere. Repository dash force. So the dash force says, I know you already created views, but go ahead and overwrite them. And I screwed, I forgot to specify the model, jugador. So this is going to generate a different sort of data access code. In fact, I forgot to show you the one it generated earlier. But this code is all built on top of EF code first. So if I go to jugador controller, you notice here that we have this iJugador repository that we generated, and each of the action method is calling into that repository. So then you can go and modify that repository and add new methods to that repository all you want. Cool. So where are all these packages located? I showed you that I can install this package, but it had to come from somewhere. And people get upset when I say, well, it came from the cloud. So they want more specifics. And so we have this website called NuGet.org. I'll just show you there we go. And this is our gallery. Now, one thing I want to call attention to is we have this little beta here. So the beta is for the website. It's not for NuGet itself. Because you can actually point NuGet to many different clients. And in fact, let me show that real quick while I'm thinking about it. So one thing that people often ask me is, well, at my company, we don't allow people to just pull in any third-party library. We have a set list of libraries that we approve, and they can use those. Well, NuGet works really great in that situation, and companies like Dell.com are actually doing that. So when you go to the settings here, you notice here that we have this list of available package sources, and this is our default one. But what I can do is I can actually add in other package sources, whether they're other URLs online, or if I have a folder, see, I have a folder here called packages. Let me just move it up here. And in this folder, I just have a set of packages. That's all I have in there. And I can say, I'll call it local, D desktop packages. I can add this. And now, when I add library package reference and I go to online, I can actually click on local, and I'll find that one of the packages is broken. So let's fix that. And there's a way that I fix this, which is I delete all the ones that I know. I delete all the ones that might be broken. We just need to show the point here. OK. So you can see here that it's just pulling the packages directly from my folder. So this is, when you're building a package, this is a really quick, nice way to test, is you add your local packages folder to your feed. And then you can see there that when one of my packages is broken, so now I have to go figure out which one it is. When you have a package, you have to go to the NuGet.org site in order to add the package to the feed so that everyone can do it. And the way you do that is you go in and you create an account, and then you sign into your account, and you can upload packages. So I'll give you a quick tour of the website, and then we'll move into creating packages. Now, there's some sensitive information that lives in your account that you don't want others to know. So I created a separate account called Haackt because I didn't want people publishing packages as me if I logged in with my real account. So now I just have to remember what my password is. OK. So I can go to this Contribute tab, and I can click Add New Package. And then I can find a package on my file system, and I can upload it directly into the feed. It's pretty easy. But there's another way to do it that takes advantage of a command line tool that we have. And so what I'll do is I'll go to my account. And we have this access key here. And we also have this little line here where using our NuGet command line tool, you can push a package directly into the feed right from the command line. Now, with our default tool, you don't even need this part because this is actually embedded in the tool by default. We just haven't updated this site yet. So someone log a bug for that. And then you specify your API key, and that will push that package up into the feed. So where do you get NuGet.exe? Well, there's a couple different ways to get it. We also have a Codeplex project. So I don't know if I mentioned it already. I usually mention it 10 times by now. But NuGet is a completely open source project. We accept contributions. We're Apache licensed. So we're open source in the truest sense of the word open source. Oh. What happened there? OK, so here's our Codeplex project. This is where we do active development in our Mercurial database. So this bug here, I just want you to know, this is not my bug. This is Codeplex.com. So you can blame them. And we have a Downloads tab here. And so you can get the package manager here, although I recommend you do it through the extension gallery. You can also get the command line here. But another way to do it is just to install it through NuGet. So the focus of NuGet is installing things into your project. So this is kind of a weird thing that we put this command line tool in there. But we just wanted a way to get it. So if you went install package NuGet command line, you just tab that. That will also download the NuGet.exe into your solution, and then you can copy that to wherever you want. So I have a command line. I've already downloaded NuGet.exe. And what I want to walk you through now is sort of how you can go about building a package, just how easy it is. So the first thing I'm going to do before I get started on that is I'm going to run the U command or update on NuGet.exe. So one of the nice things is once you have NuGet.exe, it will self-update itself when you run this command. And so if I explore dot, and when we do that, we also keep the old one around just in case you need it. And what I have here is I have this folder, and it's called Bing. But Bing in this sense, it's like the sound, Bing. And I want to make a package that makes that sound. So I have this folder laid out in a particular way. And the folder structure is by convention. We have content, we have lib, and we have a third one called tools. Tools is where you put the PowerShell scripts that you want to add new commands into, such as the MVC scaffolding. But this package is not going to use that, so I left it out. The lib folder is where you put assemblies. And the reason why is that when we look in there and we find all those assemblies, we'll add references to those assemblies and put them in the right place. The content folder is where you can put code. And this code gets copied to the root of your project that you install it into. And so you'll notice here I have this weird-looking file, bingsample.cs.pp. Excuse me. One of the things we support is transformations of source files that get installed into a project. And we use the Visual Studio replacement tokens. So typically, if I'm installing source code into a project, I want that source code to have the same namespace as my project. So you can do it this way. You can have the code, give it the .pp extension, and use this $root namespace, $. And when we install that, we'll actually update the namespace. The last step is I need a NuSpec file. Oops. And this is a really simple file. I'm not showing all the possible fields that you could use. For example, one that I really should be showing that I'm not showing here, that I recommend you always use is project URL and license URL. The reason I'm not showing it is because I don't really have a project for Bing yet. So these are not needed. But I just want to kind of show for completeness those fields. And the important thing here is your ID. So IDs have to be unique so we know what to install. And when you go to the gallery, you can reserve an ID. You can say, you know what, I'm going to have the Bing package. And so you go up there and reserve that. If your ID is taken, then you'll have to choose a different one. You can also specify a version. And we have some interesting rules around versioning and a lot of discussion of how that works. OK, there it is. So you can see there that I published this package up there. So let's see. How much time do I have? Actually, let's play around with that.